Hello, welcome to new unboxing and quick analysis. Today we review a new giant model. This is the new Cheerson model. This is the Phantom M, or also referenced as Cheerson CX-35. It's nothing else than the new large brushed model equipped with the combo gimbal, including a 720p camera and also broadcasting in 5.8 GHz the FPV signal. So it comes in black edition or in white. So other features announced to this model are the altitude hold and associated with the auto landing, auto takeoff, okay, and of course you can retrieve the classic now features such a kind of return to home and headless mouse. So you will find a lot of elements. So I already unboxed the element. So what you will find in the box, here is the quadcopter itself. Okay, the transmitter with a built-in 4.3 FPV screen. It's a matte screen, okay, so I will turn on. It takes a couple of seconds to turn off, but as you can see, you have a blue screen. It means that as soon as you will lose your FPV transmission, you will encounter a black or blue screen. It's not very good in terms of FPV, okay. Usually such kind of monitor needs a better firmware to have more the white snow as soon as you're losing your FPV transmission. I will enter into more details for the transmitter into a few seconds. What also you will find in this box, here is the prop cards, okay, basic one and associated with a set of screws, okay, 2 screws per prop cards. The total weight are 26 grams, okay, and some instruction manual, one in Chinese, useless, at least for Europe and US, and one in English at all. Okay, it's like the same that the Cheerson CX-33 or 32, the same type of element you will find. You will find also 2 screwdrivers and a charger ending with the balance plug, because this quadcopter is provided with 1300 mAh LiPo battery, no discharge range mentioned, ending with a GST connector, okay, so already pre-installed it. So when you will receive it, you will need to mount the landing gears as well as the gimbal. To attach the gimbal, you only need to lock 2 screws, here, one here and one here, okay, it's pretty easy. Just need a magnetic screwdriver to do this job. The total weight when you insert the battery, I can give this information. The total weight when you insert the battery as well as the landing gears is approximately close to 460 grams, if I'm not wrong. So I will use this box as star. So I will scale everything. I hope it will be able. So 145 grams, sorry. Okay, so it's a lot of weight, okay. So the first contact of this quadcopter, you will immediately like the type of plastic. It's a nice quality plastic, you know, this kind of strong, not so hard and a little bit soft, but it's a beautiful and dense plastic. So it will mean that you will be able, this quadcopter will be able to absorb most type of crash on the grass at least, okay. The props are presenting a very high pitch, I guess, to increase the thrust capacity, the payload capacity, okay, but in other hand, they are a little bit fragile at the extremity of one. They are more stronger than the Cheerson 33 or 32, which were very fragile, but this one are a little bit better, but still a little bit fragile. You will find on the main one 2 big eyes, if I turn on the quadcopter in blue, okay, and on the bottom part 2 front red LEDs, very visible, very bright, and 2 green on the rear, okay. On the bottom you will find the power switch, that's always good, and 2 ports to connect your gimbal, one to power your gimbal and one to control it. Actually, only you can control only the tilt, okay? No more pan with this one, but I think it's already not bad at all. Concerning the game combo camera. You have a 720p camera, okay, with a 2 megapixel sensor, and as you can see, you have a wide angle one. So, in my point of view, the field of view is something like 110 degrees, maximum 120, but I think more closer to 110. It's provided a 2 gigabytes micro SD card. You can insert on the rear part like this, okay. This button is, there is no function of this one, I don't know, but you cannot start to record or stop it with this button. But anyway, when you will start recording, you will have some lights inside. Already write with this piece of paper the default frequency of the 5.8 GHz. It's E3, okay. So I will give the complete list of the frequencies on the rcgroups.maniac.com reviews. Okay, on the bottom part you will find a lot of screw. If you want to disassemble, you will have to unscrew 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 screws per arm. So in total 20 plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 20 plus 8, 28 screws to remove, to split into the canopy. So at least 10 minutes of unscrewing session. Really, I like the design. The motors, about the motors, they are very big, like the Cyma X8C, if you can give you the information. So they are 8 mm by 7, okay, in diameter. They are not completely round. They are kind of ovoid, okay, like the Cyma one. And the main wheel is nylon, but the motor pinion is brass metal, so it means that the durability of the contact of the meshing will be lower compared with the pure nylon pinion. The good news is concerning the ball bearing. You have some, so it will reduce the friction. That's a good point, and extend the motor durability. That's definitively a good point. Everything is clean inside. You will see the internal part. That's a pretty also good point. The gimbal system, I will return to the gimbal, is attached to the, or connected to the main body thanks to the dampening ball. In my point of view, they are a little bit too hard, and in fact, since the combo is pretty light, is not really efficient system. So in practice, you still have a little bit some jello in the video. That's a drawback from my opinion. Maybe you can remove them and connect the gimbal to the main lower part of the quadcopter, and you will save a little bit some weight. Concerning the battery bay, okay, it can welcome a 300 gram milliamps per hour LiPo. In my opinion, for such size, it's a little bit weak. Usually, some other model can welcome close to 2000 milliamps per hour. And since the quadcopter scale close to 450 grams, the flying durations are not very great. I have something like 5 minutes before to see the LBC alarm. For me, it's a real drawback. Okay, so compared to the JJC H26D, which I reviewed recently, the flying duration is quite limited. Okay. In terms of power, this quad is very strong, but since it's including a barometer, you have out of the box, and as you can see on the radio, the left stick is also centralized. You have an altitude hold by default. It means that as soon as you will take off by pressing this button, this quadcopter will go up to 1 meter and stay in altitude. The altitude stabilization is efficient, well, like the Cheerson CX-33 and 32, that's a good point. But, you know, if the altitude hold is a very good point for beginners, I would like a system when you can turn off such kind of altitude hold. When you become more confident, I don't think it's a good to keep the altitude hold features on. Really, the radio is good. What I like is you can play with the orientation of your LCD display, and also on the top of it you can find the LCD 5.8 GHz antenna. It's an half plane one, so, and you can play with the orientation. For example, if you are like this, you will favorize the horizontal plane. As soon as you will install your antenna like this, you will favorize more vertical distance. So that's a good point. You can play and tune the antenna, the video antenna orientations. The sticks are okay, not fantastic. Mine is sometimes blocked a little bit. Okay, maybe it's a mine model. And on the top shoulder, you will find two. Okay, two hooks with which are some slider like this. Okay, it's this one. The right one is to control the tilt gimbal orientation. The aux2 here is useless, but maybe in a future model it will be possible to also to control a second axis. A lot of front panel, okay, that's all. So I think it's clear. This one is to take a photo, this one to turn on or off the video recording, this one is to auto take off, this one auto landing, like the Cheerson. Okay, with auto landing, be aware when you are close to the ground, you will have the kind of bouncing effect. It means that it will land, then retake off, re-land, etc. You have some oscillation and bouncing on the ground, okay, because the algorithm to say, okay, I'm landed, is converging after a few oscillations. You have the return to home button there, and here this is the speed mode. You can select up to 3 different speed modes. We will have 1, 2 or 3 bip associated with. These buttons are probably the most important. They are matching, they are setting the 500 GHz frequency, is working on the Boscam band. Okay, so basically by default, without touching any button, the video transmitter, including in the combo, is transmitting with the E3 frequency. So I can remember well, but it's 5765 MHz if I'm not wrong. Out of the box, there is no display. You will need at least, well, with mine, at least to press 1 time the frec here, which will match the frequency of the receiver, built-in receiver. Okay. If you press twice, you will change to another frequency. I will give the full list in my RC Groups review. Okay, this button also is to set the frequency of the transmitter, so you can play also. So basically, you just have to match between the frequency of the transmitter with the frequency of the receiver. It means that you will be able to fly several Cheerson 35 in the same time. A word concerning the radio protocol. Unfortunately, there is not the same protocol that the Cheerson 33 or 32. It's another one. One more time they change the protocol. It's really annoying that most of the toys brand change their radio protocol every 1 or 2 models. Why they can be consistent in terms of radio protocol? Really, I'm desperate to see that. Okay, what can I say more? So yes, since you have some big brushed motor, this quadcopter is very noisy. You will see, and wow, so it's really, if I can give you an idea, like the Tarantula, at least like the Tarantula. Well, I said about the blue screen of the video. As soon as you will lose your video transmission, one word, thanks to this antenna, the possibility to tune the antenna, I found that the video transmission is very good. You can have more than 200 or 300 meters of video range. But the main drawback of this quadcopter is probably its quarter range. You have only 80 or 100 meters of control range. That's a real shame. Why to offer us 200 or 300 of video FPV video range and to limit the transmission range only to just less than 100 meters? Be aware, because if you are very high in altitude, thanks to the altitude hold, and well, if you're losing your transmission, your quadcopter will stay in very high distance, and if there is a wind, this quadcopter, you can see your quadcopter fly away without doing nothing. So, and it can really do a lot of distance because you have the built-in altitude hold. So you can, if the wind is strong, you can do 100, 200, 300, 400 meters without doing nothing. That's definitely a real shame. So I don't know why they didn't include, at least in the fail-safe, the possibility to automatically land. I think it should be a must to have with the altitude hold. Okay, that's really for me a big concern. Another one, as I said, the props are a little bit fragile, especially as soon as you will hit the ground, and there is no spare props provided in the box. So really, I don't like it. And well, in the series and the list of drawbacks, I find that as soon as you will do a radar command, okay, after a radar command, I found that the quadcopter is drifting on the left, on the right, according to the radar command you just did. And it seems to be like there is no auto stabilization after the radar command. It's very strange. So by yourself you will have to compensate the drift. Okay, so maybe it's a bug in the flying controlling board, I don't know, but it's a way, and it means that in a very proximity flight you can have some problems. So be sure to fly it in more open space to be compensate this drift and to be accustomed with. Okay, so also in the list of the drawbacks, I said only 5 minutes of flying duration. That's also a pretty bad point for such big model. For example, the Sama X8 offer close to 12 minutes. The GJEC H26 also is offer very good flying duration. This model is not. That's also a drawback. Well, so I will now conclude about this model. There are definitely some good points. The FPV camera standalone is good, even it's not completely jello free. Maybe by removing the dampening board connected directly to the board, you will have even better result. I like the presence of wide lens, even if the light sensitivity is not fantastic. For example, the sun appears to be a black dot in the sky. It's pretty fun, but it's associated with a back sensitivity more usually. The video range is excellent. It's powerful. You have a lot of payload, but the main drawback are relatively poor control range, only 100 meters compared to the 300 or 400 meters for the video range. No spare props, limited flying durations. Okay, for the control range limited to 100 meters, maybe you can a little bit improve the situation by optimizing the antenna positioning, by doing the so-called antenna modes. Okay, so I will conclude and end this unboxing and quick analysis. Okay, so I hope you like it. Okay, if you have any question, please type it. See you next time for a next video. Bye bye.